Welcome to another episode of Bleav in Falcons. I'm your host, Ovie, Mughelli, co-host Michael Turner. We are I don't know how we're feeling because yesterday was not great, and I have an apology to make because the all-day guys over at Seattle, Lofa Tatupu, I went on this show and I talked like crazy shit, Mike. Like I was
Yeah,
talking mad stuff because we were winning 3 games and they had lost 3 games. I was like, what makes you guys think you guys even have a chance against us? I
yeah,
said that. Like those words
right.
came out my mouth, and I probably was the reason we lost because obviously all the Seahawks watched our show, were worldwide, nationwide, and they got upset. And DK Metcalf especially seemed to take offense to what I said. And I was wrong. And you were right on a couple things. You said if we overlook this team, bad things happen. I don't think we overlook this team. I just
Yeah,
think that we unfortunately did not have somebody step up like we
mhm,
needed to. Usually there's somebody doing something great, something big. There's one part of the offense or defense, even special teams, that's going off. And this week, no one made that big play. No one had a
right.
chance to really give us a chance to create something special. And it was bad because I actually went on 19 of the game and I talked about, hey, after the Panthers win, we dominated the fourth quarter. Let's dominate all 4 quarters.
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, it's going to happen. It didn't
Mhm.
happen, Mike. What did happen, Mike?
Oh man, a lot of things went wrong. A lot of things went wrong, man. We lost the turnover battle for one.
Yeah.
And that's always gonna hurt you in the end. We can't lose a turnover battle, man. We got 3 turnovers. They had one. It just like you said, it just like the plays wasn't clicking. Like we had some good drives, but
Yeah.
we didn't finish drives. So I think that was the main thing. We wasn't finishing drives, and on defense. They made the big plays, man, when they needed them, and their superstars stepped up and made the big plays, and ours didn't. So that was key.
No, you're right. Your stars have to play like stars. And I couldn't have bet that the Falcons would have lost, but that's why I don't do much betting. But BetOnline does. BetOnline is
Mhm.
the world's most trusted betting platform, your number one source for everything sports betting, every slot matchup, its breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, playoffs, NHL, NBA, to even political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here. So bet online. I'm glad I didn't bet on this game. I would have
Right.
lost money, Mike. I don't like losing money. The African in me don't work that way. I go to Vegas. I take like maybe $1,000 cash, and that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. Now
Right.
you probably go pay like 20, 30, 50. I don't got Michael Turner money. I got a little Ovie money,
Right.
and $1,000 cash is it. But the Falcons, they at least had accountability. Like you talk about the stars, Justin Simmons on one of these press conferences is talking about, hey, we didn't play good enough. Hey, it was unacceptable. Hey, we can't get the big plays like you mentioned.
Mhm.
And I saw a stat somewhere where I didn't even know that the defense is good on a couple things, not pass rush. We'll get to that. But
Mhm.
they've given up one of the fewest explosives in the NFL, like only 12
Right.
explosives in
Right.
in the games they played. And they gave up 6 this game. 6
Right.
explosive
Right.
this
Right.
game. It's
Right.
crazy
Right. Right.
because the strength of our defense, I think, is our defensive backs. With
Right.
AJ, getting his first interception in a while, a couple games ago, and of course, Wake Forest's greatest and finest, Jesse Bates, and then Justin Simmons, and even our other DB, Mike Hughes, been playing well. We've been having some really positive play, and for those guys to let Geno do what he did, I was kind of worried about it because Geno Smith was leading the league in pass attempts and yards. I'm like, but he's not playing anybody. And he's throwing a
Right.
whole bunch.
Right.
And maybe
Right.
the run game's not good. I was wrong on all of those. Geno
Yeah.
came to play, and
Right.
Geno was picking them apart. But Geno also had a whole lot of time to throw the ball. So
Mhm.
I I I, I like the accountability. I like the fact that the guys are um, you know, fully aware that this is unacceptable and you
Right.
can't win games in a consistent basis by playing like this. But it's really, where do we go from here?
You're right, Obi. And even though I like the D line play, I like the pass rush we had on them. We just wasn't getting home.
Yeah.
Gino made some good plays, scrambling, getting out there, took off running sometimes, and then when he did scramble, he wasn't always looking to run, but he was looking to also throw. So help with some explosives too, like scrambling. We got those mobile quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
Can't keep them in the pocket, and then when they get loose, they looking to throw down. Some of them's looking to throw downfield, and that's what happened Sunday.
Yeah, it did. It's crazy. I'm saying this. I miss Troy Anderson, man. I miss Troy Anderson. And for those who watch the podcast, know that Troy's obviously the pick. I said, what are we doing? Why are we picking Troy Anderson? I don't get it. It's from a little school that I didn't look like he's gonna be the guy, but then he's been playing better, leading the team in tackles, interception, running the back, and now Troy's not here, and they kind of I think hit one of our weak points, which is the linebackers. They had a lot of those plays you talk about where Gino's scrambling. He's hitting somebody in linebacker level. Linebackers aren't dropping to cover the safeties. I don't know what their defensive scheme was. I'm not going to blame the linebackers, wholeheartedly. But they took advantage of one of our weak spots. And Caden Ellis and Nate Landman, I think one of them is coming back from an injury, but it just wasn't good enough around the whole defense. But they were especially successful when it came to the middle, the soft, doughy part of our defense. And it was painful. Going to the front of our defense, you talk about they got some pressures and they make them move a little bit, but not getting that sack. Any good quarterback, man, is going to see the progressions, be able to see the spots, and find time to pick apart a good defense. And we're a good defense, but a good quarterback with time is a bad thing for us.
Man, and you know what? One play that's just stuck in my head is when they did like a reverse flea, and the wide receiver throwing the ball, and it was just hanging in the air forever.
I knew that was interception, Mike. I knew that was interception. You were there. I was there. We were both like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna beat these Seahawks." Talking to fans, high fiving. We're 3-0 in the last 3 games. They're losing 3 games, and plays like that is where I feel like we were gonna make it happen.
Right. And right. That's what I was like. It was just their day, man. Everything they've done, it was like working. Like on either we helped them with success of their plays, or they were just outright beating us, And this was one of those days, man. We just couldn't get over the hump. We'll get close. We'll get in within 3 points. Like we'll battle back some. We give the Falcons credit. We'll battle back, get within 3, but in the next drive we couldn't respond on defense and get another stop and get the ball back to our offense, and we'll turn it over. Then Kirk will fumble it, and it's a return for a touchdown. They scored on defense. So
yes,
it was just everything was just going wrong, Ovie. And there's no rhyme or reason behind it. You can't blame anybody. I think Raheem
blame people. That's our job to blame people. I
think Raheem
would blame. We blame this person, that person.
Yeah. But Raheem would say it's like he didn't have his football team ready. He didn't have his football team ready. That's plain and simple.
That hurts. Because the bend but don't break defense has been our style. Like we haven't been leading the league in a bunch of categories, except for like we were pretty good in keeping explosives from occurring. But we were all about bending but not breaking. We kept everyone in front of us. You can have those dinks and dunks. You can get 3, 4, 5 yards. But when it came to breaking, we'll give you field goals, because if we're keeping the field goals and we're getting touchdowns, we're good. But this was the bend and break defense. We let them come down the field, and then we broke. Especially before halftime, when they put one of those 2-minute drill type sequences, and they're going down the field. I'm like, yo, stop them, please stop them. No one's stopping them, and they kept on moving the ball, and it seemed like almost effortless every time he threw. Guys open, guys catching, guys running yards after catch, and that hurt everybody, fans, players, probably the coach. Like it's just a little bit demoralizing. And again, me and you play the game for a long time at a high level. Momentum matters. And like Mud Duck would say, Tom McClure, ain't no momentum like momentum.
Ain't no momentum like momentum, right?
Momentum like momentum. And that momentum was not going in our favor going into halftime. We had to come out strong, fast, and we just didn't. We were sputtering the whole game. Couldn't quite get our feet underneath us. I think that's why it didn't turn out our way, man. It's just hard to see a good team lose when we know we're more than capable of getting a win against the Seahawks.
Yeah, man. Let's go back to our offense. Our offense just wasn't clicking, man. It just wasn't looking the same. It was sloppy. Even though Bijan was getting off, was making some good runs, but we need that 3rd and 1. We need to make that 3rd and 1. You know what I'm saying? Things like that stall drives. And then we can't. And then it's either we don't make a 3rd down or we get a turnover. We wasn't finishing drive. Even Kyle Pitts had what 6 or 7 catches. Like you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
so
London was getting some catches. Like they was the bend and don't break kings yesterday.
They let us
give them credit. Give them credit for that.
They let us go off. And Bijan, 21 carries, 103 yards, 1 touchdown. Kyle Pitts, 7 receptions, 65 yards, 0 TDs. And it was exciting to see some of our stars on offense start to get going, especially Bijan. I mean, it was it's something that's been talked about for a while, but you saw there's one play where he ran one direction, stopped, came back, stopped again, and went straight down, put his foot in the dirt.
Yeah.
And when he exploded, I was like, he gonna get 2 or 3 yards. He got like 8, 9, 12 yards. I was like, wow.
Right.
You know he has that, but you don't see it as often. And we finally saw some spurts of, like we talked about a couple shows ago. When's he breaking that 80 yard? When's he breaking that 60 yard, that 40 yard? Like when's Bijan pulling a Jerry's Norwood and taking him to the house, just high stepping?
Right.
And he had a couple of those where he almost broke it.
Right.
His speed was crazy.
Right.
And so fans who wanted to have a smile on their face, just watch the Bijan highlights. Just watch the Bijan highlights from last game, because that will make you happy. That will make you realize that we got something special. We've known that, but we're waiting to see it.
Right.
And even Kyle Pitts, when Kyle Pitts did his thing, it was no more of the 3 attempts thrown to Kyle. Kyle's catching 0. Where's Kyle Pitts? What's Kyle Pitts doing? Can he catch the ball? Is he a bust? No, he's not. When you give him a chance to shine, the brother can shine. So I'm excited about that. But the rest of the offense, it just didn't come together. We cannot. Again, not terrible, but we can't go down there and make some of the mistakes that we made. Right. Some of the interceptions, wasn't Kirk's fault. I think one hit the Drake London's hands and bounced off. But like some of these decision making that Kirk's doing, they wanted the fumble so many times. Like, please be throwing the ball forward. Please get your hand forward. No. It wasn't. And most quarterbacks who's played as long as Kirk know that, hey, if it's close, I gotta protect that ball, because as much as I want to get a completion, a fumble would just decimate us, and it did, because that fumble turned into a pick 6, or turned into a touchdown, and that's something the rookie quarterbacks do.
Yeah, man. No, Kirk, man. It's the Kirko.
That's our boy. Let's go, Kirko. 500 yards. Let's go, Kirko.
He can be up and down. He can be up and down. He can be up and down. That's why one of the reasons why people question him.
Yeah,
he's not consistent week in and week out. He's not Patrick Mahomes doing something special week in and week out. He'll have a special game for a couple weeks, then he'll have a Kirk game. You know what I'm saying? It's like so, but I know he'll take leadership and take responsibility for some of the things he did. Like you said, it's better to punt than to have a turnover. So sometimes you got to eat that sack, man. Just eat that sack and just live to fight another day.
I mean, you've been in that situation several times where you want to fight for a couple more yards, but in certain situations, you got to put 2 hands on that ball. You got to, keep on moving your legs. But we want to get you to break it, but we also don't want you to have a fumble. Man, I've had a couple of big fumbles. Kirk had a fumble, some interceptions. Talk about when Michael Turner had a fumble. How did you bounce back from that during the game? Because I've been there and I've seen it, but I've never known what's going on in the mind of Michael Turner when it's a big game and we're trying to win against a team like the Seahawks, and you fumble it. What's Mike thinking?
One, I'm thinking, I'm gonna get chewed out in the meeting.
I never know where to actually hype you up. Hey, Mike is good, or I can leave you alone. Different people are different ways. So I'm like, Mike got it.
All right, because he was like, all right, I'll make up for it. I'll make up for it. Just don't force anything. Just let the game come to you, and I was like, I have a fumble here and there, but I wouldn't let it eat me up for the rest of the game. You got we got to keep that focus, man. We got another play. It's long, hopefully it's a lot of football left to play, and we can bounce back from a fumble or turnover. But sometimes, man, you can't have those critical ones where it's that buried us, And I think that fumble return on Kirk, I think that killed us. I think that was the end. That was the end right there.
Oh man, it looked bad. It probably felt bad to Kirk, and they ran that thing back, and that momentum. It was crazy. It changed in such a big way because of what happened. And man, this hurt. But I think the good thing about this happening now is it's going to be a huge test for the Falcons and how we respond, because Falcons of old, it's turned into a 2-3 game losing streak. And I remember Malarkey and Mike Smith were big on not losing back-to-back games. They were big on that. We were so adamant on the mindset of, all right, let me use an example. Like I say, you drop your phone by accident. You don't step on your phone. Like pick it up. Like it's a mistake. You know, like I made a mistake. I'm setting my phone. I'm gonna squish it. No, you find a way to really evaluate what you did wrong and fix that. Because I don't know what you call it. Was it perfect Thursdays, perfect Fridays? We had it was like the semi walkthrough. I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday.
Fridays.
Yeah, so perfect Fridays. And I was just so adamant as a fullback to make sure all of my fits were correct, my eyes were in the right place, because I did not want to be the one that, mixed up this protection with that protection and getting either Matt killed or you blindsided. And I took such personal pride in doing my job. And perfect Fridays, if the mental's right, the physical will come. Because when you're out there on Sunday, things are happening so fast that you can't really always think through your responsibility. It has to be automatic. And so these Falcons got to really dig into the details. They really got to get in their bag, and whether it's film, whether it's a playbook, the game plan, they need to make sure that they're in the right position, because at this point, the physicality is the physicality of it. You either ready to knock heads or you're not. But the mental part, I don't think we were as sharp as we needed to be. And so it's going to be interesting, because not getting too ahead of ourselves, but we'll do a show later about the Bucs. But this is a Buck team that's salivating. They did not want to lose to us. And we played 5 times. They may have won 3 of those 5 times, and we won twice. And so it was a game where we got out there with a W, but now they're seeing gaps. They're seeing weaknesses. They're seeing a chance for them to get back on us. They want to so bad, but man, Mike, before we get too far and end the show, maybe we should send a package of Cherry Bundy to the Falcons. And we don't have to send a package of Cherry Bundy to the Falcons. I don't think you got a chance to go to the you been to the new facility?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, obviously you're Michael Turner. So I hadn't been invited to the new facility, but I finally went on the alumni tour. They took all the old guys like us, and they took us to the weight room and the locker room and the facility, and it was amazing. And so I was videotaping. I'm gonna share this on my socials. And of course they had Cherry Bundy. I was like, that's
no, they did.
Yeah, they did. I got pictures and video right there, and little little basket. They got some sports drinks and sodas, and Cherry Bundy. I grabbed one and popped it. I got first. Gotta love Cherry Bundy
right now, man.
Yeah, so they're obviously using it. Maybe they're not using it enough. Maybe they should start taking like double the dosage to get back in shape and back in the saddle, because we can't do what we did this past game. At the stadium, always love going to home to your backyard, just walk around, saying hi to fans, and the excitement was insane. I mean, it was at a fever pitch, because we haven't won 3 games in a row. We haven't been 4-2 in I don't know how long. But they were like, oh, this game, fans, they can do that. They're like, we're going to blow them out. We're going to do the Seahawks so bad. It's going to be an easy win. I said, it should be.
Well, I always said it over there. Like, this Seahawks team is better than what their record says, and they came in and showed it, man. That was a tough win, but for them, a great win for them on the road, beating a good Falcons team. And maybe it was good for us to fall down a little bit, because we got a lot of things we can learn, a lot of things we can get better at. And no matter what happens tonight with the Bucs game, is like we're still fighting for first place coming up the next week. Yeah. So this is one of those games like that you could lose if you happen to lose. It's like,
I wish it wasn't in the NFC. I wish it wasn't in the NFC, because we've been doing so good in the NFC, but at least not the division. So when you talk about do we want to get a come to Jesus moment against the Seahawks or against the Bucs? I think it's the Seahawks. Yeah. And so now that we know that we have all these holes, several holes in our game, we can say, you know what, this for dang sure ain't happening against the Bucs, because we want to stay in the lead when it comes to the division. Because we win the division, hey, going to the playoffs. We go to the playoffs, anything can happen. So
Anything
that's
can
been
happen,
my stance from day one. That's still going to be my stance. We're in a great position, still 3-0 in the division. And this Seahawks game is one that is forgettable, but one that we can definitely learn from.
Right. Hopefully we can do that, man. So Falcons still, hey, fans, stay with us. You know what I'm saying? Still Bleav.
Yep.
We got a little hiccup right here, but it's not the end of the world. Like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's good. It's a good game. Good game for us to learn from. You know, we saw some flashes of some good things.
We did.
You know, so we all got to put it together now and be ready for this Bucs team because it's hard to win in Tampa, man. And they're a good team, and we're gonna see what happens tonight with them. See how they come out. If they licking their wounds too, coming into the game, or they riding high, coming into next week. So we'll see, man. Enjoy the game tonight, and that's all I gotta say, Ovie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll be back. We're not done. You know, it was ugly. It was ugly.
Yes,
it was ugly, but we'll be back. We'll be back. We're gonna bounce back.
Enough said, man. Like and subscribe. Bleav in Falcons. Thanks, guys.